Thank you so much for being with us on a Tuesday night. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2021. It's great to be here on behalf of First Amendment Sports. I'm Ken Marangolo. This is Thank God It's Tuesday. He's Tim Strachan.
Happy New Year. Happy playoffs. Happy for everything that hopefully is coming towards us in a positive light in 2021. But, man, it's been a great way to start it off.
He's Kevin Ricka.
Champs. What's up, champs? We're the damn champs up here on a Tuesday. Moving on up to the high rises in Bethesda, Maryland. Talk to me, champ.
Playoffs.
7 wins gets you the NFC East.
Playoffs.
We've been saying it for months, and it turned out to be true. It turned out to be us that got those 7 wins. I know there's a couple different storylines to cover from the last couple days. I get it, and we'll probably touch on pretty much all of them at some point. But I will start off by saying this, and want to make sure that I think that this is the most important thing. No one should ever apologize for losing a National Football League game, first and foremost. Not that anyone's asking.
Losing or winning?
No. Winning. That's fair.
Okay. I didn't know where you were taking it. I just wanted to be able to follow.
The process of getting to be better, in general, just getting better, whatever you're trying to get better at, you have to start from some point of not being that good, and you have to get to some point of goodness or greatness. There's so many people out there who say they're trying to be great, but they're really not. They're just saying it. There's so many people out there that say they want to be great, but they don't really want to be great. They just want to be called great. They want people telling them things that aren't true. They want to believe things about themselves that aren't true. They don't care about the process. For us, we've seen what not great looks like, and we've seen what lip service to wanting to be great looks like. We've seen all that. We've seen it. We've seen the phony attempt to be good for quite some time. And from September to the beginning of January, what we saw was an honest process of improvement, a dedication to improvement, and commitment to improvement from every possible level, from players who gave a crap to coaches who gave a crap, and no matter what you say about the 2020 NFC East champions, the one thing that is most true is they are way better today than they started the season. They earned the right to go up in front of people and say, we wanted this, we stuck together, we kept at it. There's nothing fake, nothing phony about the process of the Washington football team getting better. Are they great now? No, but they're clearly trying to be. They're clearly interested in the idea of being great. And for the first time as a fan of this team in really decades, it's real. It's right in front of our faces. And the idea that we can attach to our journey towards greatness a banner that says the NFC champs in a season that you say what you will about the quality of competition, they went at it the right way. The things that Ron Rivera did, the things that Chase Young and Terry McLaurin and Jonathan Allen and the true leaders, Alex Smith, of this team did for the entirety of the season, they gave us exactly what we wanted, exactly what the three of us sat in my basement and asked for and hoped for in August, which was, we just want this team to get better. We didn't know how it was going to look, and it wasn't freaking pretty, but it happened. It happened. And so we could talk about a lot, but at the end of the day, we got exactly what we wanted, and you can throw the record aside, because what we are looking at today is a vastly different picture than what we were looking at in August.
Look, if any fan, I'm going to do air quotes, at the beginning of the year said, I hope we only win 2 games so that we can get the number 1 pick, or we can, really rebuild, then you're not really a fan, and you're an idiot, football mind. we have talked consistently this year, especially juxtaposed to the idea of should they tank, should you lose games, is at this league, at this level, you have to learn to win, okay? Because everybody's good, right? It's the best of the best. Everybody's great. You have to learn to win. And I'm going to take from our previous show tonight, the WCAC Spectacular, where we had Brian Westbrook on as a guest, former DeMatha Catholic Stag from the area. He talked about how what T.O. did for him and his professional development when he showed up for the short time he did in Philly, is that he taught him certain special little, specifics, running in practice, even if you're at the 20 going out, running the full 80 to get to the touchdown on the other side, because that's what great players do. Brian learned that from T.O. And what these guys for the Washington football team is doing this year, they're learning to win. Okay, and when my 12 and 11-year-old daughters ask me, Dad, if they win tonight, does that mean we have a chance at the Super Bowl? And I said, yes, a very small one. But what's more important is you've made it this year. Now, next year, you know what it takes to get where you were last year. Let's do it a little bit better this year, guys. Even though you're going to have a tougher schedule and maybe not a few spots, earlier in the draft, but you are learning one of the most important things at this level is how to win games in the NFL and make it to the playoffs so you have a chance.
And this is all we talked about this season of no expectation. Let's see what happens. Our dream would be that Ron Rivera would turn the locker room around culture-wise, make this a place that people wanted to come and play, make the young players feel comfortable, treat the veterans properly, give everyone a chance to have a future in this league, not a one-stop shop. In fact, put roots down, make a family, have Ron Rivera's wife come and show your little girlfriend how to dress up the living room, because that's what she does, and how to pay bills and how to accentuate. That's amazing. Ron Rivera is amazing. This is the cherry on top, fellas. This is dessert. This is the 17th course. It's going to be delicious. It's going to make you moan. There might not be an 18th one, but we're always going to remember this 17th one. Our front seven is being talked about as the thorn in Tom Brady's side this weekend. Our front seven has combined. Our starting front seven for 0 playoff games, 0 playoff experience. Our starting front seven. It's amazing to me. Our entire roster is 14-20 in playoff games. It seems kind of high, to be fair. Free agents are free agents. Well, our starting corners are Super Bowl winners, right. and that's about 90% of it. And that's what that is. But the fact of the matter is, our front seven versus Tom Brady. This is just an invaluable experience for us. This is something you put in your cap. Yeah, we'll never forget how Montez and Chase perform against Tom. Tom's not blocking them. It doesn't matter. This is for them. It's competing against the highest, and to have the ability to go up against I keep talking about our front seven, but the two most important people for our front seven are going to be the quarterback, obviously, the GOAT.
Yep.
And the tight end, the GOAT's right-hand man. If you're a front seven person, obviously the quarterback and the tight end kind of dictates pretty much everything. Well, when you put those two together, they're 42-15 in playoff experience with 9 Super Bowls. Our entire roster is 14-20. With 4 Super Bowl champs. I'm just saying, this is so good. Let's embrace it. And you know what? It doesn't have to be a blowout. Tom Brady poison is getting pressure with a front four. Our front four can get pressure. That's a fact. It's that defense that has me a little concerned. But how about the fact that after all this crap we've been dealing with, it's the new 2021, the pandemic, the this, the that, the other, all this shit Ron Rivera's had to deal with, and we're right here. Champs, not apologizing to anybody. Nope. Tom Brady's coming to town with Gronkowski for a home playoff game for the Washington football team, and Chase, Montez, John, Duron, Cam, and the crew get freaking experience that we're going to take for the next 3 years that we cannot quantify right now because we haven't been able to do it legitimately for so long. These are the dudes. This is the situation. That's the GOAT. Where y'all going to be on Saturday?
Is Mike Evans playing?
Yes, he is.
I heard he is. I heard
that
he's going to
been
make it out there.
That's been determined?
The injury was way less than they imagined as of this morning.
Yeah.
Now, I did not see what
think
he
is
did on
playing.
the field, but he hyperextended the crap out of it, but structural, not an issue. I think Devin White is a big issue. Devin White is an issue. He's a tackling monster. We need a Devin White to get to the next level on defense. Their defense is almost as legit as ours, along with that legit offense, against the run.
Nobody blitzed more than Tampa Bay.
Oh, he's a monster. He doesn't stop blitzing.
They get after it. The one thing that they did do, which I'm wondering how we can capitalize, is they gave up the most touchdowns in the league when blitzing. They gave up 14 touchdowns.
That's part of blitzing, though.
I understand.
And Todd Bowles understands this as well as you do.
And we have our lightning strike, so to speak, is it's not very lightning-y these days.
I'd like to see the record of the teams that have the least, or we have the best, because they probably have blitzed the least. They're probably not even.
It's like passing percentage, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, they blitz more than everybody, and
Todd Bowles is a lunatic.
And that
second most hits on quarterbacks in the NFL this year.
And that goes right at our weakness too. We talk about Tom Brady being a statue and being up there with
Smith.
Yeah. We also have a guy,
the 1.5-legged man.
Is one of them count as full? Or
by the way,
I like calling it 1.5.
James Rainey.
Look, here's what I love the most about this situation, as
James,
Kevin was saying.
Let me help you.
What I love most about this situation is and what I love about Chase Young, screaming coming off the field, "I'm coming, Tom Brady, I'm coming," is that they more than likely are going to be humbled at the end of the day. Okay, let's be honest about that, right? Mm-hmm. However, I love the fact that our guys, our dogs, can go out and just freaking play and not worry about it. There's no pressure on them.
Nope.
Go out there and play your ass off.
How about way less than the last 2 weeks? Way less pressure than the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Go out there and this is going to be your last game, guys, of this year. Go play like it is. If I'm Tom Brady and as experienced and as good as he is, there's got to be a little bit of PP coming out. Knowing that's what Chase Young's mentality is going to be that day. And if he's going to be a monster and you're taking care of him, you got another monster on the other side, 2 more monsters in the middle, and 11 guys flying around who are just playing.
And apparently, there's a PP monster.
I love it.
There's a PP monster out there we have to take care of.
When we're the thing that I was noticing when there was the PP monster is real, by the way, and everyone needs to keep on the lookout. 2020, it might be over, but the PP monster is still for real. It's still here. Don't sleep on the PP monster. The one thing
I'm a face-down sleeper.
Yeah, don't be a face-down sleeper. You will be in trouble with that guy. Every time we split out our wide receivers against Philly, they immediately brought an extra 1 or 2 blitzers, which was troubling to me. J.D. McKissick had a couple of problems picking that up, and Alex Smith could not run. I mean, he's an intentional grounding waiting to happen because you have to get outside the tackle box to avoid intentional grounding, and there was a lot of times he couldn't get outside the tackle box because there was too many steps. Also, the BS cheap shot, encroachment that led to the hit on his leg, that's just crap. That guy should never have been allowed to get up off the field.
He lost his balance. He didn't do that on purpose.
Oh, he did it on purpose. He started and then he finished. But the other thing about our offense that I was a little bit concerned about was the trigger. Alex Smith is famous for checking down. Obviously, he's famous for throwing the underneath stuff. He turned Terry McLaurin into an underneath route runner at some point in the game. He was running the buttons. He was running the short patterns. We weren't going
He's
for
been doing that all year, though.
Well, I guess there was. Because he knew he had so little time because he couldn't escape. There was no time for some of the other patterns. And so I want to ask you guys, as Rivera hints at potentially bringing in Heineke, I ask you, is it as much a preservation strategy for Alex Smith against the blitz, and he's not, he's not going to ask Taylor Heineke to do magical things, but is he going to be asked to, hey, pull the trigger on some 20-yard passes because Alex Smith is not going to be able to get that done?
Now, let's just remember this. Obviously, Alex Smith was hindered heading in. We knew that going to last week, and obviously our coaching staff thought it would be the proper thing to do. Watching Alex Smith crumble under pressure in certain situations, in 3rd and 7, he couldn't escape, and it was team preservation, and I get that. I think that was discussed amongst the offensive staff and the head staff. This week's going to be a little different. The idea that Ron would say this right now makes full sense. Why not have Tampa Bay have to worry about the hots and the checkdowns and eliminate some of their practice time and game planning this week with a mobile young guy that can't possibly stand in the face of that? Just remember this, Washington fans. While Taylor Heineke is trying to get himself right, it was against a 3-man rush with 8 in coverage, and we were dumping it. It's going to be a little bit different with these maniacs coming at him full force during the playoffs.
Yep.
So it sounds good on paper. I do think there will be certain situations that we should have him in there because Alex can't escape. It's 1 week later. Who knows if his right calf is a butt cheek or a calf at this
He
point?
doesn't have it. Yeah, there's no
right
calf.
But that ass is tough as shit. That calf is tough as shit. That calf ass, tough as shit.
Calf ass.
And I'm riding that calf ass all the way through this ass calf scenario for the rest of the playoffs. Because listen, it's nice to have Taylor out there, and we do need some mobility, and it's going to be tough. But this is the lot we have. This is what we have.
Yep.
This is who we are, man. We're just going to take some guy out of class in Old Dominion and be like, go beat Tom Brady. Good luck out there. The other guy's got a bad leg. The other guy's had a bad leg. He's had a bad leg since we can possibly.
Look, I think this is an answer to your question, Ken, is that this is why the run game is so important. Because without any semblance of a run threat.
They're number 1 on D.
I understand that.
Gosh.
I understand that.
I know you do.
I love the way Gibson's been running. We're a little bit banged up, I think, in McKissick and Barber. But I think if you can establish a run that is legitimate, then you're buying Smith an extra half a second at least to be able to maybe get the ball downfield a little further and not just take all the check downs and underneath and them shortening the field. But when it gets to a point where the defense knows the run's not even a thought, you got to make the switch at that time. You got to give Heineke the chance to go in there because I think at that point it's a detriment to Alex Smith's health.
Wait, to hand off?
No. If
we're
the defense knows at late in the game, they're teeing off.
I hear you.
They're coming because the run's not a factor at all. The play action isn't going to be any effect whatsoever. That's when Tyler comes in because it is a preservation of Alex Smith's
I agree with
health.
that. I want to ask you this.
Not a preservation of making sure he's ready for next season. It's making sure he makes it out of the game
making sure he
alive.
can walk away from this game.
I just want to say this. Alex Smith could throw a check down behind his back with his eyes closed, correct?
Yep.
Right.
Taylor Heineke has never once in this league checked down as of today. Now, you don't want to start that process in the playoffs against the number 1 rush defense in the NFL. He's never thrown a check down route. And now we're going to be like, get on out there against the number 1 rush D and start checking. Never mind. All I'm saying is there's no great answer here. And the idea that Ron would say this allows them to have to worry about a bit of a guy because Heineke is an athlete. And in fact, 1,000 times more. Heineke was never
got
more athletic
two
than Alex
legs.
Smith at his prime, but right now
got
Heineke is 1,000
full
times more
legs.
athletic
Oh,
because
yeah.
he's
Two full
ambulatory.
legs. Yeah,
Old
yes,
Dominion
yes.
University. He threw for what, like 25,000 miles.
He
Yeah,
was
he's so
ridiculous
cool.
in college.
He's so
man.
cool,
He was
man.
ridiculous in college.
Yeah, and
He's so cool.
and when people hear Tyler Heineke and obviously we and people who are watching right now know who he is. He's played for Scott Turner before. The whole thing with Ron Rivera he's not asking. He doesn't have two game plans. He doesn't have, here's what we're going to ask Alex Smith to do. Here's what we're going to ask Taylor Heineke to do. The whole reason why these are his two guys is because both of those guys know how to run Scott Turner's offense. So no matter who's out there, they're running the same packages. To T's point, if we become one-dimensional at any point in this game, you probably have to put Heineke out there.
I agree with that. I
because-
wasn't arguing.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I
But
was just
let's flip the script a little because our offense versus
That
their
hurts.
defense is probably not going to be what decides this game. What decides this game, once again, for us will be our defense versus their offense. And that's exciting to talk about. That's fun to talk about because that's our strength. Let's not scratch our heads too hard about how we're going to stop Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the outside, because and Rhett Donovan. By the way, let me take a second to say Happy New Year to all these guys who are hanging out with us on the board tonight. Really appreciate you guys. JP Finley, I know you're hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate that. James Rainey, Greg Martin, AGH, Robert Cohen, E.O. Anderson, Rhett Donnelly, Keegan Tier. Appreciate all you guys, and everyone's checking on Benjamin. Benjamin's fine. He didn't make the trip to our secret
He's
studio
heavy.
tonight. What's that?
He's heavy.
He's heavy. He is real heavy. But he's doing okay.
he's a dick.
He's totally a dick. But not the PP monster. We all season long, we've been getting it done with this group of guys in our secondary, and so, yeah, it's a tall order. It's not just about stopping Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and their abilities. It's about stopping Tom Brady from throwing the perfect ball to where only they can catch it. The name of the game for us, and it's going to be right away, and it's going to be apparent right away, is can Montez Sweat and Chase Young get some one-on-one opportunities, win those battles, make Tom Brady uncomfortable.
Yes.
And get turnovers. We need to get turnovers.
Of course. And how about this? As unambulatory as our Alex Smith is, Tom Brady is not making anybody miss. He's just not, guys. And we have, I believe, the most dynamic tandem of edge rushers in the league right now. I know they're in year 2 and 1. I don't give a shit. I'm telling you, that's Tom Brady's poison. I'm not saying we can win this game. I'm not. Any game
who's
is a
more
game.
athletic than Tom
There's
Brady?
always
Nate
a
Sudfeld.
chance.
I'm just saying.
Always a chance.
Of course,
Always
I know,
chance.
but I'm not trying to get, I'm not trying to put my ankles over my ears right here. I'm just telling you this, T. I know you don't want that either.
I know
Well,
some people on the board that
well,
visual.
exactly, but I'm just saying this, guys. We know how to pick your poison. We know when they're undefeated with Randy Moss and the GOAT, maybe the second best wide receiver of all time, and Usio Manora, Michael Strahan, Jason Pierre-Paul. Those guys did work because they didn't have to bring a fifth or a sixth, maybe a
Robbins
fifth, but
and
without
Tuck
a sixth.
inside.
They got pressure with 4. That was Tom Brady's poison then. I imagine he's a little less athletic now. Same poison. Yes, he's got weapons everywhere. Stupid not to think that but there's going to be a couple situations when he looks the same way Alex did this past week.
Yep.
When all of a sudden he's like, whoa, and we've seen him do this for years because he knows what's up. When he just calls it quits, okay, no thank you, Chaser Montez. I've got that. That's going to happen a handful of times as well this week. They're not just going to beat our ass by 40. That ain't happening.
Nope.
That ain't happening. That's because we're built differently. Ron and our crew have taken us. We're the ones smacking you in the mouth. They might take it to us. They're going to have some bloody chops, fellas.
Jason Sweat need to also be mindful that Tom Brady is precious NFL merchandise.
Oh, that's true.
And
Oh,
they
that's
need to be
very,
careful
very true.
Whether they're a full
This
step,
ain't Antique Row in
half
Kensington,
a step
bro.
is a full step. That could be a problem.
Oh, T-Bird.
They haven't experienced
That could be a
that
huge
yet.
problem.
They haven't
Do you know?
experienced.
Do you know that
politics in a football game suck?
you just
okay?
walked by Tom Brady? You sack of
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate Sudfeld wasn't getting the same luxury on Sunday.
No.
Let's just talk about the game for a second. I thought the better team won. First of all, the notion that Doug Peterson pulled the second coming of Joe Montana from this game and through the game, whatever result they may have been hoping for, Jalen Hurts had thrown for 70 yards. He ran a couple balls that any running back, could have taken, across the goal line and give it to him.
Hold on with that.
He was making me
no,
nervous.
that's the first part was true. The second part, Ken,
He's good.
He
I
has
like
point
him.
guard vision, and
Yeah.
he knows the angle, and he made it happen.
He made it happen, but at the
he's
end
a
of the day,
playmaker.
he's
a playmaker.
He wasn't. He took advantage of the extra blocker by being the runner, and I get it, and that's what
He
makes him
didn't.
good.
He just
yes,
played
he did.
ball.
Look,
He's a playmaker. Sudfeld
He wasn't
can't
crushing
hold.
it.
I'm a Sudfeld guy.
I'm with
I've
you.
Made that
It wasn't
very
a lay
clear.
down.
It wasn't a laydown.
I've made my affinity for Sudfeld very clear on this
Yes, you
show.
did.
I think he's a
Yes,
good
you did.
quarterback.
Former Redskin.
I was not worried whatsoever once he came in the game.
I was
For
stunned.
multiple reasons.
By the way,
I was way more worried.
I didn't
on
know what was
Jalen
happening.
Hurts could do.
Hey,
I was on my fourth Manhattan, and I saw, and I was like, who just changed the channel to 2011?
Did
What
you
the-
did you have
I
to
don't know
undo
why.
your
I don't know.
ass?
what
Scott.
channel were you watching? 1946? You
Yeah,
freaking
your ass
weirdo.
got
Somebody
little
had a
too-
bottle of
too
three
tight around
man
your
Manhattans,
neck.
and they were delicious, Kevin. They were delicious.
I'm not going to say they weren't, but you just got behind it as if you're from Manhattan, but
Get
you're
your
not.
smoker's robe on
I
too.
was
Satin.
crushing them and happy to do so, and it made me a little bit wonder if it was the drink or reality when Nate Sudfeld came onto the field, and I was like, what in God's name is happening right now? I didn't understand it then. I don't understand it now.
Amen.
It was unbelievable to me, and
Amen.
I listening to Chris Collinsworth, by the way, who was dressed like
can't
my
stand him.
grandfather's grandfather.
They-
with
yeah.
that sweater situation. I mean, what the hell? Come on, you paid millions of dollars. You can't do better than whatever.
He makes me want to punch myself in the throat with a razor blade.
And
can't
even
stand
they
it.
were like,
Never
"Whoa."
have.
They were just mesmerized by the boldness of the decision to put Sudfeld in that moment.
And they knew it.
for-
they
for-
knew it was
and
coming, maybe.
And
They admitted
empathy-
it.
And an
Maybe.
empathy for the Giants fans was just
screw them.
disgusting.
Screw them. I got no
Those
empathy.
poor
sympathy.
6 and 10 bastards tried so hard. Eat
Try winning 7
shit.
games. If you want to make it to the playoffs,
Shit.
win
Who
7
are you
games.
talking to? Do you know what our fan base is made of? Our real fan base
Yes.
is made of? And you're talking about the Jets fans? I would take.
Yes.
Not the Giants fans. The Jets fans are the heart. We're like Jets fans and us are similar. Giants fans, they can wipe the brie
I
off
bet,
of
Joe
my.
Judge
they
and
were
his-
all drinking Manhattans with ascots and satin robes watching the game.
Yeah,
an
like
ascot,
Scooby and
too.
Shaggy over
Ascot.
here with Fred and Velma. Well, How was your
And
Saturday?
a monocle attached to his belt.
It's
Hey.
a different kind of whiskey.
When we pack all the equipment into the Mr. Machine on the way out of here, are you going to
Yes.
tell us what we're doing Saturday night at 8:15, or
And
you
I
just
would have
figure it
gotten
out for
away with it
yourselves?
too if it wasn't for Chris Collinsworth and his terrible V-neck in prime time. But like Joe Judge and his sanctimonious "shame on you Philly" speech. Screw you, Joe Judge.
Yeah.
Don't win 6 games. If you want to make it to the playoffs, try winning 7 games like us. Okay, just win 7 games. That's all
Step
it
it
takes.
up,
That's all
Judge.
it takes. Just win 7. You couldn't do it, and
You can't be the judge and the jury.
Can't
You
be
just
the judge and the jury.
It wasn't possible.
So, all right. So we're beyond, talking about Philadelphia and New York and Dallas. I would like to say for this game coming up, I think we've played 8 playoff games in the last 21 seasons. Oddly enough, 6 of them have been against Seattle and Tampa Bay. It's the way we
It
play
is
these
weird.
two teams. It's weird. It's weird. They're the cool kind of. If you want to draw parallels, where parallels are just arbitrarily drawn.
But they're like right.
They're like totally
right,
parallel.
yes. Yeah.
In 2005 or 6, when Sean Taylor was just a young buck, and he took one back, a little scoop and score of his own against a very green team from up I-95 on the way to the playoffs. When we then went and played Tampa Bay. And we won that game. And I think that there's some similarities, because I don't think when Joe Gibbs took those teams to the playoffs, he took in 05 and 07, they weren't good teams. They were just he got everything out of those players. They were all in there with him. He was all in there with them. If you go and look at those rosters, it's not going to blow your skirt up. They're not going to win a single game on paper, and yet down the stretch they won the game they needed to win to make it to the playoffs. They earned the right to play, these teams. And I do think it's similar, because I don't think, first of all, I don't think anyone's going to give us a chance in this game at all, which I love.
Yeah, why would they?
Why would they? And the thing that I think people are going to very easily forget, and all of us are going to remember, and all the people that are watching are going to remember, is the thing that makes us great. We're bringing it. We're bringing that right with us on Saturday. They're waking up in their beds at home, and Montez Sweat, Darren Payne, Jonathan Allen, and Chase Young are going to walk onto that field, and that's as professional a defensive line as you can ever ask for. And in the playoffs of the National Football League, if one thing has been proven more than anything else, it is that you can win a playoff game with that. And we got it.
Yeah.
I just
You can't win with that alone. You need an offense that puts
No, you can't just win with the Sack
at least
brothers.
one more point
You're
more
gonna
than
need
the other
a-
team.
Well, I'm saying that defensive line, the trenches. We always talk about the trenches. Games are won and lost in the trenches. We had the best guys on the offensive side of the trench for 15, 20 years in the Hogs. We don't have the best offensive line right now, but they're good. They've
I
gotten
think they're damn
good.
I'm not going to
over
lie.
the last
Hey,
month and a
shout
half.
out
I've been
signing
shocked
Chase.
at our
Can
ability
we
to
just
run the
applaud
ball.
the Chase signing
Yes.
real quick?
It was an awesome move. A
Just
classy
smart.
move.
And
I've been
need
shocked
to,
at our ability to run the ball
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, man.
until it's taken away for multiple reasons. B, turnovers that give short field, and we're playing from behind and stuff like that. We have the defense to win this game, the next game, the game after that.
Yep.
It's the offense. It's the offense.
They need some seasoning,
special
but yes, we have the
team
talent.
blunders
Yep.
and things of that nature that are going to make it tough. So there's a chance. There's a small chance.
There's absolutely
There's always a chance. I'm not saying there's not a chance. I'm saying the focus is how freaking cool is this that these dudes get to do this. Look, Chase Roullier just gets re-signed. I think he's been very solid. I really enjoy the interior line play. We haven't had that situation where, Alex Smith's leg until the goofball went off sides has ever been a situation. Hey, Chase, welcome back to contract 2 in the NFL, and enjoy your week of this newfound wealth and then Ndamukong Suh in the run game, because it happens real fast. And when you got to go up against Ndamukong, I'm sorry, but he was the guy before Aaron Donald that scared the ever-living shit out of me on a weekly basis. We opened up with Miami with Gruden a couple years back, and I watched this dude, I think he was a free agent, just come out there and just absorb our offensive line. And he's coming back.
And he was disturbed at one point. I think he's somehow mellowed out or something. He's not the problem. I think he was once on.
We all get a little more seasoning.
But he is a wrecker.
Hundreds of millions of dollars in his bank account.
Demolition man.
And
As
that's
good as
how
he
you
gets.
and that's how you get to be the number one. Yeah. But here's the deal, fellas. They're like 21st perhaps throwing the ball. The reason people make yards on these fools is slinging it around a little bit. It's obviously not down the field because you don't have a ton of time. No, Alex is pretty good with the quick decisions. I think he can keep us in it. I think we can hang in this
What's
bad
the play?
boy.
What, you guys, I'll put it both to you, Kevin, first. What's the play we need to execute, whether on the left side, on the right side, whatever way it's going to be? What's going to be the play that we have to get done?
Well, I've never been asked a question quite like this, but I'm going to tell you this, Ken. I do believe that Antonio Gibson has to use that shake, wiggle, and burst in between tackles. Getting out wide against these guys is going to be fine. Getting out of bounds and trying to stretch them, that's one thing. We need to go right at these cats. We got to. We have to be able to get that 3 yards. We've got to stay ahead of schedule. We can't we can never be in a 3rd and 8 or longer. We just can't win. At that point, don't be sad when our play call is a draw or a little check down. Stop. That's smart. That's what we have to do to win this game. We cannot put ourselves in a position to have a terrible turnover. We can't. And Alex Smith usually doesn't. There's been a couple cornball things that have happened this year. But we got to hope that rookies hang on to it in the run game and in the passing game. And that, man, we got McLaurin on a couple 3rd and 6, 7s. But 3rd and 8 and longer, that's when we get into huge trouble and this game goes south. We've got to be able to maintain.
What's our bread and butter play, T?
I think there's a difference. Look, I'm always have been, am, and always will be a run-first guy. You got to establish the run to be effective. What I think is important for this Washington offense is, I think it was a 3rd and long in this past week's game. It was an underneath route with somewhat of a pick.
The double pick?
The double pick,
yes.
3rd and long to Cam Sims. There needs to be more of that and more aggressively in this game. There needs to be more of that. Freeing up somebody in a very intuitive, inventive
Quickly,
way.
I like
first
you
5
say-
yards.
May I
But to
say
get the ball
intuitive?
out.
I love what you just
To
said.
get the ball out.
An intuitive pick route scenario.
Yes.
So basically, we have to be better at cheating than Tom Brady without
Essentially,
Belichick
Tom
on
Brady's
defense.
great at it. Are you kidding
On
me?
offense. I know he
Tom
is.
Brady's the freaking king of it. That's
Agreed.
what we need because we are going to be
Agreed.
faced with 3rd and
Agreed.
7, 3rd and 8, and we got to convert them. That was a huge play in this past week's game.
And may I say, that's the way to convert them. Unless you got a couple corners going to the sidelines, giving Alex Smith an out. We understand what his situation is, fellas. We cannot just have him sitting back there. We can't.
No,
it's got to be
do
quick.
This, we're going to throw it to Cam, or we're going to throw it to the other Sims.
Get
we're
the
going to
pace
throw
going.
it to McLaurin, and if it's not there, dump it off to your back.
For me, at the beginning of the season, it was a cliche, and it's been a cliche because Alex Smith has made a career of throwing to tight ends, except for that 1 year before Mahomes took over in Kansas City, and they had the speedsters and Tyreek and those guys. I want to dance with the girl we discovered and brought to this prom, and that's Logan Thomas.
You can't say you discovered a girl.
We discovered him.
Dance
don't
with the girl
check
that we
Ken's.
courted.
We courted.
If
we
you want to
courted
go
the
old
girl.
school, we courted her. Yes.
We got here this season. Our offense matured by pumping that ball to Logan Thomas, and I want to be doing that early. I want to be doing that often. I want to be doing it all game long. They're going to know it's coming. I understand. That's how we got here. That's who we became as an offense. I mean, obviously, I want McLaurin and Cam, and I want to get the ball to McKissick. But for me, I'm willing. I'll cast my lot with the passing game to Logan Thomas. I think that if we get him 8 or 9 catches, 70, 80 yards and a touch or two, I think that's the recipe for me.
He has to produce.
He has to be an absolute stud in this game.
He has to.
Yep.
You can't ask the receivers for it, man.
He has been the best surprise of this team, certainly of the offense this year. And as a former quarterback, who, if there was another position I had to play football, it would be tight end. I am damn proud of the way he's made that transition.
Yes.
The body type, the things you have to learn, the things that you never did at the college level, he's now doing. And when he catches that ball, his downhill momentum, get the F out of his way because it's going to hurt when you got to tackle him. I love the way he's playing.
Yep.
He's coming up with big plays that he wasn't making in game 1, 2, or 3, some 50-50 balls and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Now he's starting to make those.
And if they're
plays.
blitzing,
I think it's all clicking for him.
he's got to be. He's got to be the hot right away. A lot.
Well, of course, but that's also there's some protection issues with the tight end that aren't going to allow for him to be that hot. But I do love the fact that he's here, he's ours, and what a decision to bring him in.
Yeah.
You know, he's producing at such a high level, and tight ends have been getting that ass money. They've been getting that top level. Who do we just try and get? The Hunters, all the Henrys and the H's,
Henry,
and
yeah,
there's
Hunter
there's
Henry.
Triple
Thaddeus
H and
Moss, wasn't that
Ganges.
his
I
name?
know this.
Ale Henches.
All them H's are making all them dollars,
All them.
and Logan just got a couple bucks, and he's out producing all of them. What a great decision, once again, to bring a guy like that in. With a guy like Cornelius Lucas starting at tackle, you know, that guy was brought in on a 2-year deal with a situation last year as a backup for the last 2 years for the Bears. This monster, 6'9", 340-pound, amazing dude has filled in not way more than adequately. In fact, I think we should re-sign him too.
Yep.
We've got some great production out of some of these guys that are low on the salary cap chart for us. We haven't had that shit since I can remember,
I
fellas.
know. I
And
know.
learning
If
to
there
win.
was a Cam Curl or a Logan Thomas coupled with, that's happened over years, not on one team.
But they're not on a crappy team where they're not gaining valuable experience. They are learning to win. They're learning to become professionals. They're seeing success from the fruits of those labors, going back to the very first things we said in this show.
Yes.
To have those guys who are low salary guys learning to win, playing above their potential right
In
now.
this system.
In the
And
system.
room to get
Specifically.
better. And
In
room to
this
get
system.
better.
And T, I love that you say that because this is what we need. We've always talked about this. If you look at our linebacking situation, the guys we've had to sign, I think we have 3 guys to have Rivera experience from Carolina. I think all our crazy look, Michael Kendricks, you know, the dude he's got the Super Bowl, one of the Super
That's
Bowls
right.
for us. I wanted to ask you guys these trivia questions about who had the Super Bowls, but I don't know. It was a little difficult. But guys like that, all 3 of them, I think. Michael Kendricks, Jordan, well, you can say it, Kunacek, is that how you say it? All righty. And Jared Norris, like all these guys are Rivera guys.
Yep.
They're all Carolina background guys. Like what I'm saying is we can understand where the plug-and-play guys are. In years past, we had a system. We saw a name. We took the name. We signed the name. We brought the name in. We're like, we'll put him somewhere. That's up to the
Yeah,
coach.
he must
And
be
these
good.
guys just kind of mold around
Costs us a
like,
fortune.
and never, ever were worth a piss. Now we have guys that have specific traits, specific tendencies, specifically for this defense that are being brought in, and it makes so much more sense. I don't know why it took us this long to figure it out.
It only took us a year with the right guy and doing it.
Less than.
Less than that. I mean, a year ago this week almost, right?
He was hired on the 31st, from what I understand.
Yeah.
But it was announced to us on the 1st
Yep,
of last year.
All right, let's do some game predictions. I wanted to put us on the spot a little bit with how we were going to get it done. I say Logan Thomas. He says between the tackles. You're going run first.
Hold on. I say we have to have something between the tackles in
Okay.
order to have something else.
Understood.
You have to establish a run game with
course.
that. You've got to find ways to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers quickly
Of course.
when it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7.
And we got to avoid 3rd and 6.
Like
and
we
3rd and 7.
saw.
No, we have to avoid 3rd and 13 or the holding penalty.
that's-
Hey,
you're getting
2nd
into
and
those-
12 is a 2-yard game.
You're not supposed to win.
Well,
Can't.
here's the bold
Can't.
prediction.
Not against that defense.
Here's my bold prediction. I'll lead us off, and if you guys want to follow suit, be my guest. We're going to get a defensive touchdown this week, and that's going to be the reason why we win this game. But we've been led by our defense. Whenever we've been great in this crazy season, that will be the case at home as champs against an aging, statuesque quarterback across from us. Montez, I got it. I wanted it to be Chase Young, but I think it's going to be Montez Sweat. and I think that will be just fine. I think that would make a whole lot of sense in terms of the player that he is, that we know he is. So I got Montez Sweat, defensive touchdown, sealing this game. Take it away, one of you guys.
I'll go right away. Our young Bucks on the edge. They're both going to get a sack.
Okay.
They're both going to have conversations with the GOAT that we'll be watching in 10 years. Guess how old the GOAT will be? He'll be like a great-grandfather
50
there.
years old.
And hope to God we're waving at Montez and Chase as they walk off together into the sunset. 34-20. Buccaneers. We hang in there. We do what we can do. We put a couple field goals together in the first half. We get that defensive touchdown. Alex Musters won. It's the GOAT over there. There's weapons for days. Bruce Arians is a Kangol-wearing pimp NFL
He
head
is.
coach
I love
that
it.
I wish I could have a beer with.
Yep. We'll have a beer with
That
him someday.
defense is nasty.
Hey, I got my beer with Mike Holmgren. You're going to get your beer with Bruce Arians.
I don't want a beer with Mike Holmgren.
Oh, it was a great beer. See?
In order to get the win, we need 2 defensive touchdowns. And it's going to be Kendall Fuller, good counsel, and Chase Young, DeMatha.
Ooh, WCAC.
Local guys
So you just threw your big-ass WCAC balls on the table for the playoffs.
to win the game. However, my prediction is that this game is way more difficult than Tom Brady thinks it's going to be, Arians is going to be, anybody else thinks it's going to be. They're going to come up short, but I think Tampa is going to go, holy shit, that was a lot tougher than it was supposed to be.
You think this would be like when the Washington Bullets came up just short of the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan went home saying, watch out for these guys before we dismantle this terrible team.
Please don't. Please.
No.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I
too.
also know how it ended.
I know how it ended.
Please don't do that.
I know exactly how that movie ended too. It was an awesome
I think
moment.
they're going to be happy to get out of here. I really do.
Okay.
And
All right.
because
I like that.
of, again, what
Yep.
we were saying, Chase, he has nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to
Yep.
lose.
Yep.
None of these guys have anything to lose but a football game this weekend, and that should allow them to play fast, reckless, and maybe do some damage.
I
But
expect
probably
everybody
come up
watching
short.
this show, I expect everybody in this room right now to tailgate fast and reckless and do some damage ahead of that 8 o'clock Saturday night, prime time, kickoff once
When's
again.
the last time we had 2 back-to-back 8
prime
o'clock
time
games?
games. It's our spot now.
We keep kicking everyone's ass on prime
mean,
time
you
with
just-
Rivera.
Just
Who
want to
is
serve
this
us up.
dude?
The executives are like, hey, you might want to put these guys in prime time. They might win the ugliest, most terrible game ever.
We create headlines. We
Also-
create headlines no
Hey.
matter what.
Let's create the headline for whoever has this game. The Washington Redskins, Ron Rivera, cancer survivor.
Yes.
Okay.
Quarterback almost died.
It's the one time when I wish that they didn't have a different crew do every one of our games.
Yeah.
Because please spare us. For 17 weeks, we've seen the same. It's
We know
amazing.
who we're getting.
You don't
Oh,
know?
it's been announced.
No.
Guess.
I know it's been
I want you to
announced.
guess. You get 3 chances.
What
Do you
channel?
know?
What channel is
I do know.
All right.
Okay,
don't say
okay.
it.
Give
don't
me the
say
channel. We're on Fox, right?
It. I don't think so.
No, we're not on NBC. Saturday night at 8:15. Give me the network. If you know the crew, give me the network.
Yes, I do know.
It's NBC.
All right. So if it's NBC, I mean, if it's are we getting? It's NBC.
He's not a tall man.
Are we getting?
NBC.
What's
But
his
he's
face?
not
Sean
a-
McDonough.
No, but this man has also got the same haircut as Sean McDonough.
Baldy.
Sits on a very high chair. I think they screw it all the way up.
Why am I blanking? Why am I blanking on
He
this?
does golf. He does Olympics. He does ESPN stuff.
Tell me we're getting Brent Musburger.
We're getting Tirico
I
and
know.
Dungy.
First of all, Mike Tirico is
Tirico
great.
and Dungy. I know.
Mike Tirico is great, and Dungy is great. This will be the best duo that I have to look forward to in some time.
I love
I didn't
Tony
know
Dungy.
that. I always pay attention to that, as you
It was
know.
news today.
I know. I didn't see it.
It's been pointed out to me, and I love Dungy, but he has a nervous laugh before every comment. Like you could say, Tony Dungy, You have an arrow through your temple. He'd be like, oh, let me get that arrow. So just listen. It's going to happen.
Great.
I've heard this 4
Great.
times. I know.
You've just
I know.
ruined
He's
the
like,
entire game.
But also, he's former Tampa Bay. That's my biggest problem with it is that my only real
he
problem with
invented
it
the Tampa too.
is he
That's
is,
Dutchie.
It's going to be 3rd and 8. I'm going,
Tampa
when's he
Bay.
going to laugh?
But he loved. But
Where's
he,
the
he
chuckle?
if anyone
He's such a good
if
man.
anyone
Come on,
respects
it's Tony
Ron Rivera, it's
Dungy.
Tony
Yes.
Dungy.
Oh.
I love Tony Dungy.
I actually, one of the few books I read from beginning to complete end was written by Tony Dungy.
and
That's
Tirico
how
is
amazing of a man he is.
Tirico is actually, to me, one of the top 2 or 3 play-by-play guys in sports. I think he's amazing.
He's awesome. He's a
very
pro.
good.
He should
Tony
be-
Dungy's as good of a man as that exists in the country.
Yeah.
We're
So,
not- I'm not
can't
making
wait
fun
to
of
see.
that.
They're gonna, something's going to mess it up. They're going to put like an intern on the camera or something. It's going to be terrible. I don't
They're
know.
like, Tony Dungy, there's an intern on the camera. Like, well, they could get better. Just listen. He does a nervous laugh into a life instruction.
I love it. I love it because I need this. I need
The life instruction?
The announcer angst.
Yeah.
It's kind of my thing. All right. 4 days. Get yourselves ready. Gird your loins. We got a playoff game. We're going to be coming back next Tuesday to talk about how we
How do you even
beat.
do that?
You got to do. You got to gird them. You
You
just got. It's mostly girding.
Okay.
Capital G.
All right.
Gird them. The loins.
However you do that.
Everyone needs to. You need to look in the mirror
Gird
and
'em.
answer that own question. I mean,
You have to look in the mirror to do this?
You got to look in the mirror.
Where's
I
the
don't know- I don't
mirror
know what
gotta
Captain-
be? Where's
Cap-
the mirror gotta be, and where do I gotta be? Because
I'm-
I'm gonna need
Listen.
some help.
I'm guessing behind.
I'm gonna need a little
Yes.
assistance.
Listen,
I'm
don't
gonna
listen
need
to
some
this guy.
assistance here.
Old Captain Graymuff.
I also-
Speaking of ambulatory, not ambulatory, you got to remember, I'm not ambulatory at all. So,
And I am not assisting Captain Graymuff
only-
for the
Don't
loin
even worry about
girding.
it.
which only puts me
I don't
on.
care if it's the playoffs.
Which only puts me on the long list for backups of the Washington football team.
Medium list.
Quarterbacks, yeah, the medium list. You're right. I've always been good with medium.
Captain Graymuff said it first. Not any of us here.
It's the playoffs.
Why
Get
do I look
ready.
at your gray hair? Why do I
Yeah,
gotta be
steer the
Gray
ship.
Muff?
Oh, that's silver.
Steer the ship,
I'm not
Captain.
I'm not
It's,
King Gray
silver.
Muff over here.
Got the
There's,
silver
this is
fox.
not a mutiny. We're asking you. We're asking you to Heineke this bad boy. Give it the Heineke maneuver.
Stay with the liquor. Stay with the whiskey.
Once
Stay
again,
away
we've
from
gone-
the beer.
We should stay together.
Once again
we should
gone
stay
a
together
minute
for this
too
somehow on Saturday night.
Bubble up. Get in your playoff bubble. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm out.
we've
I'm
been
out on
planning
that.
for that. I don't know. I mean, that's
No,
part
no,
of
the stay
girding
together for the
process.
gird your loins. I'm bubbling. I'm going to bubble my.
No, you have. First of all,
I'm going to bubble my loins.
if it wasn't clear before, gird your own loins first before you gird anyone
Well, you
else's.
should have said
for
that off
safety.
the jump.
It's like
I'm
an
drawing a
oxygen
game
mask
plan. Have
that
you
drops
seen
out of the-
my X's and
when it-
O's?
You've been bubbling your loins for
When you
pretty
when
much
the
the
plane's
whole
going
time
down
I've
and the
known
oxygen
you.
mask
Nasty
falls, you put
Nate.
yours on first before anyone else. So
We've gone a minute too long,
take
ladies
care
and
of me,
gentlemen.
everybody.
We
Sorry.
always do.
He's Kevin Ricka.
Hey, man, have a great time enjoying the cherry on the top of this season. There is no reason to have any stress. Enjoy the hell out of the tailgate. You know what, man? Thank you guys for making it as fun as it is. You guys are a huge part in my world. I hope to be one of yours, and let's get together Saturday somehow, some way, and not do what Ken suggested.
He's Captain Graymuff.
Whoa. If you're not going to blow it out with friends, with alcohol and all that, do another thing. Grab your son, grab your daughter, grab a under 30-something, sit her down in front of
Where this
the
is going.
TV and say, look,
Put
this
this
is
on delay.
what we grew up with. Right?
Is there a delay?
Get your head out of the gutter. This is what we grew up. I'm
We
talking
have a-
just get the younger generation to understand what
Push every
playoff,
button. I'm
what
pushing every
playoff
button. I'm pushing all the
football
buttons.
is what we grew up with. This is the stuff that this is why we do this. We grew
They
up
didn't
spoiled.
experience it.
We grew up spoiled. Let's teach the younger generation that has never had success like this. And I know we're not going to go to the Super Bowl this year, but
I'm not going to the Super Bowl.
get that energy, get that love for the hometown team back that I once saw in the 80s, I want to see that again.
Rhett, first of all, an under 30-something is a whole new demo. I don't Google it. Whatever you do, you don't want that in your
I
search
just
history.
met someone who hasn't seen
Can I
us
grab
have
Rhett?
success.
Can I have Rhett? He's not under 30-something.
Rhett,
Yeah, Rhett.
Rhett.
I call Rhett.
you hang out with these guys in the game. I'm going to teach young kids what real playoff football in DC is right about. Teach
I don't
generation.
even know. We're going to have to change the rating system for this show. I feel like at some
no,
point.
we're not. You guys are disgusting.
What did I do?
I
I've been trying
don't know.
so hard.
We'll see you on Tuesday night, everybody. We're
We've
going to
gone
talk about this
5
game.
minutes too long.
You helped us make this season fun. It was never about anything more than enjoying our team and the players and the coaches.
Yes.
Brought everything that they had to make it a 17-week journey, and we're better today than we were in August. Again, I finished where we started. All we asked for was improvement. All we asked for year one of Ron Rivera was give us hope. Man, we got hope by the gallon. We got hope by the bucket. And AGH, it's been 29 years since you felt this good. So does that mean you're an under 30-something fan? I don't know. We'll figure out how all that works. All right, but we'll get it taken care of.
Was there a better way I could have put that? I'm assuming.
Yes.
AGH is an under 30-something
God,
fan.
I
of this
I
team.
work with children. Jesus.
Stop.
Mentally.
Until
Children
next
mentally.
Tuesday night, we are First Amendment Sports. I'm Ken Maringold. This was Thank God It's Tuesday. We are still live, everybody.
I hate you guys.
I
love
alive.
you guys.
I've been holding on.
I've been smelling it.
No,
You've
to
been letting it out.
laughter. It's laughter.